Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching us BQ on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Happy Friday to you, Navneet, and happy Friday to all of you who are tuning in. I'm Alex Matthew. If you've got questions on equity, then you know where to send them to us on any one of our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. You can also call us on 022-454-04141, or you can mail us on askbq@bloombergquint.com.
All right, but before we get to the individual queries on the show, let's quickly tell you what's happening with the markets. And yes, Alex, it is turning out to be a happy Friday for markets as well. Today is the sixth straight day of gains that the Indian markets are seeing. Nifty is up almost 60 points in trade. 11,650 thereabouts is currently where it is trading. Sensex up about 200 points in trade. Remember, the next level that will be watched out on Nifty will be 11,695. That was the mark after corporate tax rate was cut. Nifty took a U-turn after that, and if we cross that mark, then of course 12,000 will be the next level to be watched out. Bank Nifty is the one where majority of the gains were seen in yesterday's trade, and today as well Bank Nifty has been inching very closer, by the way, to its 100-day moving average, which stands somewhere about 29,366. So on the upside, you can watch out for 100 DMA on Bank Nifty. I think the day also belongs to the broader markets, which are outperforming the frontline indices. So you've got the mid-cap, small-cap, both these indices are registering close to 2% gain, so good going there. The market breadth has been pretty good right from the word go in the morning. Last when I checked, it was almost 2:1 when it comes to the entire listed universe on National Stock Exchange. So market breadth also looking good. Let's quickly then take a look at the Nifty contributors and check which are the stocks which are contributing to the 60 points gain that we're seeing on Nifty, dominated by biggies, Reliance Industries, L&T, HDFC Bank, all the heavyweights contributing. What's capping the moves are your likes of HDFC and Z, which is the top loser on Nifty. And talking about the individual Nifty constituents, Reliance, which has weightage of nearly 10% on the index, will be coming out with its September quarter numbers today, so watch out for that. Ahead of the numbers, the stock's been trading around its all-time high levels, and not to forget, it's also touched 9 lakh crore when it comes to market cap in today's session. And the other stock which is in focus is Z Entertainment. The stock has lost almost 6 to 7% in trade. Remember, the numbers came out yesterday post-market hours. Bottom line was below estimate owing to the exceptional loss related to pertaining to the related party transaction, which was reported of about 170 crore. But it's more concerning when it comes to the cash flows, which were negative for the September quarter. The other pack which is buzzing is the PSU stocks. So BHEL, NALCO, NBCC, Steel Authority and BEL, all of them have registered strong gains owing to reports coming in that the government will be looking to divest stake in all these PSU companies. And lastly, just want to highlight a few more gainers which are buzzing light since yesterday. Manappuram Finance, Pyramid Enterprises and Adani Enterprises, Alex, has had a great week. I think that stocks rallied nearly 15 to 16% so far in this week.
So patience has paid, I think, for a few investors, I think, who've been speaking about some of these stocks that have been underperforming. I think some of those PSU names, we get a lot of queries on them. But having said that, let's get the two experts in for the day. We've got Amar Singh of Angel Broking and independent investment advisor Sharmila Joshi, who's also joining us. Thank you so much to the both of you. I will take you through the technical picks that Amar sent us ahead of the start of this show. He's got a couple of picks that you can consider taking up. The first one is a buy call on Adani Port, and he's given you a range at which you can consider picking this up, 413 to 415. Let's pull up the stock and see where it's currently trading if we possibly can. The target on this is 438, and the stop loss on this trade should be 402. The second call is a buy call on Tech Mahindra. Again, he's given you a target range. You can consider picking this up between 730 and 732. The target on this trade should be about 767, and the stop loss is 712. We spoke about the Nifty and essentially gains of about 0.4% as we speak, or just about close to that 0.5% mark. The support on the Nifty, according to Amar, is being seen at 11,550, and the resistance on the upside is in a range of between 11,700 and 11,750. Navneet also spoke about the Bank Nifty and the fact that it's inching towards its 100-day moving average. Amar has also pointed out the support that is being seen on the Bank Nifty. 28,800 to 28,550 is the support that he's seeing, and the resistance on the upside is 29,300 to 29,500.
All right, so watch out for all these levels and the picks given by Amar when it comes to the technical ideas for the day. But moving ahead, let's start taking our viewer queries. The first one comes in on YouTube from Navlika Sana. Navlika has bought 1,000 shares of Tata Steel at a really high price of about 755. She's a long-term investor. She wants to know whether she should look to hold this position or she should book losses as the stock currently trades around 360. So, Sharmila, good afternoon. Almost 50% of Navlika's capital has been eroded. While we talk about the metal stocks, I think globally they've not been doing well because of the cooling off of prices that we've seen for any of the commodity. Do you expect this cycle to turn? Should she stay put with this investment, or will it be wise to just book losses and put money somewhere else?
Yes, so two things about Tata Steel. One pressure has been because of this whole Brexit thing, because they do have a significant presence in Europe, and that has caused them some amount of heartburn over these last 1.5 years, while we've seen this whole the region go through this Brexit concern. So yesterday we saw some cheer on the stock because there is some news that some deal has been reached. I think now we're in the final stages. If the UK Parliament this weekend approves, then I think we will definitely, see the positive sentiment continue on some of these Tata Group stocks, whether it is Tata Motors, Tata Steel, and I think some other auto ancillary plays. So that is one part of the story. The second part of the story is what you were alluding to, is this whole US-China, the trade wars again. And what we've clearly seen is the kind of impact that they've had on prices of metals globally. And metals is a space that reacts largely to global prices. So, even if you were to take all these things into consideration, I think now the pain of all these events is in the Tata Steel price. And precisely as you said, this is a cyclical industry, and they go through these cycles. And now I think we're at the lower end of the cycle, in terms of valuations. And so it does look imminent that things could start improving for the metal space as a whole. But I think it's too early to call as yet. So I think if the investor decides to stay invested in Tata Steel, then you'll have to be really patient, because I think we have just begun to see the first signs of concerns getting, that sort of ebbing, and then things could start improving from here, because we are hearing of positive things both between US-China as well as the Brexit, in this last 1 week. So I think stay put for the bit, but definitely I think keep tracking news flow, because that's very essential at where commodities is concerned.
All right, let's take a short-term query now. We've got a viewer by the name of Baby Care who's looking for a view on IDFC Bank. I think it was purchased at a level of 46. It's currently trading just about that 40 mark, about 1% higher in trade. Amar, on the charts, how is it looking for this particular counter? It's not done, it's been pretty range-bound, if I'm not mistaken, for the past couple of months.
Yeah, you are correct. Basically, what we are seeing in IDFC Bank is that it has got very strong support coming around 36 odd levels from where it has bounced back. But till the time we don't see the stock consistently trading above 44, 46 zone, I would say, because if you look at the stock on 19th August, it had made a high of 46, 47. And prior to that, it had made a high on 4th July, 45, 46. So clearly shows that 46, 47 is going to act as a very strong resistance zone. But it seems that there is some bullish divergence on the weekly chart. So that clearly shows that the downside seems to be definitely limited for the stock. And for any meaningful and substantial rally, the stock needs to sustain above 46, 47 levels. Then it has a potential to rally towards 54, 55 levels.
All right, that's the technical view in IDFC First Bank. Last 6 months, the stock's down about nearly 25%. Sanjana Goswami writes to us on YouTube. She's bought 1,000 shares of BSC at 1170. She's also stated she's added 30% of the quantity at dips of 5%, and that to 18 times. She's lost nearly 3.6 lakh rupees in this investment, and she wants to know what to do with this one. Sharmila, BSC listed in 2017. The IPO price price was somewhere about 805, and the stock, I think, this year has been trading even below its IPO price. Net Cash Company announced buyback, I believe, twice, but that's not done anything to the stock price, so to say. And looking at the business as well, even if you look at the market share that they command in cash or F&O, it's nothing compared to what their peer NSE has. Fundamentally, what would you advise someone if they've bought the shares of BSE at higher levels of about 1170?
Yes, so I think the concern is what you said, that really the business is shrinking, and I think that's never a great thing for any business that you sort of invest in. That you're actually seeing their pie becoming smaller, because what we've really seen is that the larger volumes have shifted to NSE as an exchange. I think what could have helped the situation would have been the fact that if NSE had gotten listed, but they sort of run into rough weather of their own, and so we've not heard of the NSE IPO since. Because I think if both the exchanges had been listed, then there would have been better price discovery. So honestly, this has never been a stock that I've recommended or liked. But the investor is making very heavy losses at this point. I mean, the IPO was at a very expensive price point, according to me, and didn't really leave anything on the table. And the business, as we discussed, is so I would really recommend an exit, because I think if you want to really invest in a exchange business, for me MCX is a more attractive business at this point in time. Their numbers were good. Commodities as a meaning as a segment does more business globally than the equity segment does. So we are in a very nascent stage in that sense in the Indian context. So I prefer MCX as a exchange play among the listed plays, but so I would really recommend an exit.
All right, let's take another short-term query. We've got Satya Subhash on Facebook who's asking about Dolat investment. I've pulled up the chart, Amar, and I see that it's quite a volatile stock. If I look at the last 1 month itself, it's gained about 40%, but for the year to date, it's not gained as much. In fact, it's just about the level that it was at the start of the year. What would you say with regard to this? He's bought and he's making a bit of a profit. He's bought at levels of 50 and he has a 6-month view. He's asking if we should book profits or wait.
I would say that looking from a short-term perspective, the bullish momentum is definitely there for the stock. But technically, the stock has got some resistance around 68-70 levels. So ideally, he should definitely look at booking 50% profits. And for the balance, he can trail with a stop loss below 59.
Okay, that's the technical view on Dolat. Pull up Godrej Agrovet. Akshay Mittal's bought the stock at 630. He's suggesting it's bounced today, but what he wants to know is this the right time to exit, or there is a hope that he can recover his money? He wants a technical view here. Amar, I'm going to come back to you. Buy price of 630. Currently, the stock's trading at 500. What would be the advice?
Yeah, I would say that he should definitely hold on to the stock. What he needs to watch out is that the stock has got some very strong resistance around 525-30 zone, and we are seeing definitely bullish momentum on the short term and the intermediate term trend. If the stock manages to sustain above 520-530 odd levels, then it has a potential to rally towards 560-570 odd levels. But yes, on the weekly charts, there is some consolidation, and the stock now has got very strong support around 460 odd levels.
All right. So Sharmila, you did speak about the automotive space. Anup Sahu is looking for a long-term view on Maruti. How would you rate that? Would you wait for a few more trends to emerge in the festive season, perhaps, just to get a sense of how the domestic market is going before you take the plunge?
Absolutely. I think not only do you need to wait for some trends to sort of emerge in terms of how the festival sales, etc., are going to be, but I think also the fact that BS6 is still a concern, because what we've heard from a lot of auto companies, whether it is two-wheeler or four-wheeler, is that there is going to be pressure over the next couple of months to really bring down the inventory of older vehicles to as low as possible, because then from next year onwards you're going to really see only BS6 getting sold. So which means that they have to now come to a situation where the older vehicle inventory comes down so that it comes to almost like near zero, and there's some whoever is stocking their vehicles has BS6 going ahead in their stock, so that once BS6 is rolled out, every vehicle that all their dealers etc. will be BS6. So, this is sort of the transition period where you're phasing out the old, bringing in the new. You have to get your, all your models BS6 compliant, etc. So this is going to be a tricky 3 or 4 months. So I would really wait for more trends to emerge before I take a call here. And Maruti has run up. I think in this last 1.5 months, it has seen a significant run up. So I'd wait for a bit, honestly. Just now, I think it's still early days.
All right, let's talk about BHEL. It's one of the stocks in focus today. Navneet mentioned that some of these PSU companies are really running up in trade today, 24%. I'd like to draw your attention to a BloombergQuint story that we published yesterday, in fact, that there is a meeting of secretaries to decide on a list of stocks, 8 stocks, as many as 8 stocks, wherein they're looking possibly to bring in the government stake to below 51%. So divestment possibility in some of these names. So a lot of these names running up. But on the fundamentals on BHEL, obviously, Sharmila, between yesterday and today, nothing has changed. How would you rate it? Swapnil Yadav is looking to enter. Considering the recent run-up, in fact, today's run-up, would you say that he should wait for a bit?
If news is true, then maybe there could be a further upside. But honestly, I mean, if you're just looking at the business, then I would really be quite circumspect, because what we've really seen is that their order book has actually come down. And things have not been good, really, very honestly. I mean, I'm among the few people in the market who remembers the stock even at a price point of almost 3,500, 4,000. And from there you come to this level of 57. And at every level it has looked cheap. When it was 100 something, you thought, oh, it can't go down any further. Then it was 70. Now it was available this morning at 40 something. So I'd really wait for confirmation of this news, because that could possibly add the trigger, because definitely this is a business that people would be interested in. So if you want to play on that, I think you can buy the stock, but not really for fundamental reasons.
Okay, so that's BHEL. Let's see whether divestment news comes about or not. But staying on with that theme, by the way, even BEL has done well. That's Bharat Electronics. And that stock's touched 52-week high today. Abhijit Kamaru writes to us, and he's been holding this counter at 93. He wants to know what levels on the upside now should he be watching. Amar, with today's move, the stock at 52-week high, do you think it would be wise to book profits, or one should stay put and place the stop loss?
No, I would say that it would definitely be wise to book profits, because these highs were seen last in September quarter 2018, so almost a year back. And that was a high of 119, from where the stock had corrected all the way to 70. And today's high also, if you see, is 121. So I would suggest that he should definitely look at booking profits, because if the stock manages to sustain above 120, 121 levels, then it has a potential to rally towards 130, 35. So ideally, he can book 50% profits, and balance he can trail it below 108. So the stop loss for the balance could be below 108 levels.
All right, I'm taking Pooja Arora's query. Pooja has invested over a period of time into RBL Bank, and she has followed a strategy that I think most of the experts on this show have recommended against doing, which is to average on every 5% downside. That's not the way that you should average. And in fact, a couple of things that have been spoken about in past shows. One is that you don't necessarily have to average in the same counter. You can look at another perhaps better performing stock to recover your losses in a trade that you're making, or in the second instance, you should wait till there is consolidation if you are indeed averaging, and average on the upside rather than the downside. Having said that, we've got Pooja Sharmila, who's losing a significant amount of capital, and I think that's true for a lot of people who've invested in RBL Bank and held faith for the long term. She's losing as much as 13 lakhs is what she's pointing out. What should somebody like this do?
A very difficult question, very honestly, to answer, because in terms of valuation, it looks reasonable, and a lot of concerns for RBL Bank actually started when the management came out and they said that there could be pressure on their some of their loans going ahead. And at that point in time, actually, the results were good. So it was a question, it was really a sort of a situation where it was like, damn if you do and damn if you don't, because they actually came out proactively and said that there could be concern. So it's very difficult, really. I think it's more a reflection of the kind of concern that we are seeing on all the corporate-facing banks, and we have seen corrections even in, like an IndusInd Bank, for instance. We've seen concerns Yes Bank, of course. I mean, I don't even need to mention that. So very honestly, I think just now it might make better sense to just stay invested and wait for this quarter number, see how the book is shaping up, and then take a call from there. So since we are very close to quarter numbers, I think just wait it out till then and then take a call on this. But honestly, it's a very, very tough question to answer.
Well, point well taken, Sharmila. Indeed, it is a difficult question to answer. After the first quarter numbers, the stocks corrected nearly 40 to 45%. The guidance which came from the management, they said that the credit cost, they expect that to go up for the entire fiscal by 35 to 40 bips. Asset quality can be a concern. We'll get to see that in a better light when the numbers come out. But moving on, we've got a query on WhatsApp. Rishabh Arora has written to us and he wants views on something like Ashok Leyland. The stock's done well, at least for the week, though on year-to-date basis, we all know that the auto companies are not doing well. And for this week, it's up 11%. Amar, I'll take this question to you. It's up 4% in today's trading session. What are the charts indicating? Is it poised for further up move?
Yeah, I would say that looking at the charts, it clearly shows that it has got some resistance around 77, 78 levels. If that level is taken out, then the stock could rally towards its recent high of 83 odd levels. Technically, on the weekly charts, yes, we are seeing some bullish pattern there. However, the long-term charts are still, I would say, indicate that there is bearishness in the stock. So the stock needs to consistently sustain above 80, 83 levels on a sustained basis. Then we could say that there could be there is a change in trend on the intermediate basis.
All right. I believe that it is that time of the show, if I'm not mistaken, where we hit the rapid fire segment. This, remember, is where we try and fit as many queries as possible into the span of 2 minutes. I'm going to start with a counter that we haven't spoken about, Sharmila, in a long time. That's PC Jewelers. And there are good reasons why we haven't spoken about it. We've got a viewer who has bought at levels of 33, and he's wondering whether or not the Diwali season is going to be beneficial. Would you say that he should hold on or shift to something else?
I would say exit. I mean, on a fundamental basis, there is. I don't have a recommendation on this stock.
Cholamandalam Finance is the next stock. Alan writes to us, and he's been holding at 294. Amar, he wants a view on the charts for the next 2 weeks.
I would say that he can hold on to his position. The stock needs to sustain above 480 levels for any rally towards 510. On the downside, the stock has got good support coming around 450.
Simran Kaur has also lost a lot of capital on Vatek Wabag. Sharmila, is there any possibility on the fundamentals of a recovery?
Well, this is actually a stock that I like, but honestly, ever since I've recommended it, the price has only gone down. So I think, I like the stock because I think that this is the kind of story that I am expecting to do well going ahead, given the fact that they are into effluent treatment. So I would say continue to hold.
Sharmila, would you advise doing SIP into Nestle?
Yes, I think that's the best approach to take.
Coming back to you, losing significant ground again on NBCC, bought at levels of 140. Should they book losses, Sharmila?
I think it's a hold for now. My near-term target would be closer to 80.
Okay.
Okay, we've taken RBL Bank already. Can you spot more queries, Alex?
LIC Housing bought at levels of 794 for the long term. Should they book losses again? Another counter that's seen significant deterioration, Sharmila.
No, I think it's a hold for now because I think this would be one of the stocks I like within the housing finance names.
Amar, what's the right level to buy into Infosys?
Yeah, Infosys around 750 is a good support level, so one can look at buying around those levels. 740, 750 is a good level.
Infosys, I don't think we've taken. We just did. Let's look at Yes Bank. Should they buy at around 38 for the long term, or would you wait, Sharmila?
38.
Rather, she's, I think, already bought. Anumaga.
Yeah, then I have to continue to hold.
Okay, hold.
Amar, would you advise buying into HDFC AMC at current levels?
Yeah, I would say HDFC AMC at current levels, no, because the stock has got strong resistance coming around 2900, 2920 levels.
I'm going to try and slip in one more. Amar, Adani Power for short term holding at 63.
Yeah, I would say that Adani Power definitely one can hold, but profit booking is around 67, 68 levels.
All right, that's all the time that we have for this edition of Ask PQ, and in fact for the for this week. But I'd like to thank both our guests, Amar and Sharmila, for helping our viewers out with all the queries that they didn't answer today.
Remember, we're just a tweet, post, or a call away, so please keep your queries coming, and we promise to address most of them through our shows. For all previous episodes, visit our YouTube channel or our website, BloombergQuint.com. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint and have a good weekend.